What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video, guys, and we have some huge news here because the former big man over at Nintendo of America himself, Reggie Fils-Aime, will be joining GameStop's board of directors to help turn around the failing company. I actually was working out at the gym when I saw this article, and I was pretty much done with my workout, but I was like, I gotta come home and talk about this because this got me excited to discuss if Reggie Fils-Aime can turn around one of the classic retail giants in the gaming industry. And I think that many people, even people who talk bad about GameStop, all agree that it's good to have GameStop around as a force in the industry when it comes to if they can do things right, because there was a time, I guess maybe at one point, maybe people thought of GameStop as a good company. I don't know, Funko Land back in the day, but can Reggie do it? Well, let's go ahead and get into this topic here, kind of get all the details, then we'll talk about that more in detail. Now, Reggie is joining the board of directors along with Bill Simon and others as well. Now, some of these guys worked in various different industry roles for the past 30 years, big retail industry roles and all of that. So GameStop is pulling out the big guns here to try to turn the company around. Some of them even worked like at PetSmart as the chief executive over there. And GameStop's goal, at least according to this article here, is to provide expertise in turning around its struggling business and head it towards profitability. So, quote, "The gaming industry needs a healthy and vibrant GameStop." Fils-Aime tweeted on Twitter, "I look forward to being part of GameStop's corporate board and helping to make this happen." GameStop says that they also see this as a chance to bring in some fresh ideas with these big industry guys. Quote, "The board refreshment and governance enhancements announced today represent an important milestone in GameStop's transformation as we continue to evolve the company's business strategy for long-term success," GameStop Chief Executive George Sherman said. "They are each highly qualified and bring significant relevant experience to our turnaround." Now, GameStop also told investors that 4 board members are leaving their duties on that body. That include Dan, Mateo, and some other guys as well. You guys can check out the full article for that. Quote, "During their tenure, the company has made important progress executing on our objective of becoming a leading omni-channel retailer with top market share in the gaming category," said GameStop director Kathy Verbeck, "and we appreciate their thoughtful leadership, guidance, and service." But hit the road, essentially what's going on there. So let's talk about this, guys. Can Reggie bring GameStop back? Can Reggie save GameStop? And let me just go into why GameStop went into this. Now, I'm not trying to sit here and say that I know all of the business details and everything like that, but from all of the accounts over the past, I would say 15 years or 15 to 20 years that I've been shopping or that I used to shop or know about GameStop, it seems to me like customer service and also employee treatment has been very bad. I mean, employee treatment has probably been one of the worst. I don't know what their rating is for the Better Business Bureau, but there are just horror story after horror story of people who used to work at GameStop that have talked about this. And it's not even like they're jilted about something or anything like that. It's just the pressure of trying to force pre-orders down people's throat, trying to force accessory sales down people's throat, trying to force buying pre-owned instead of new down people's throat, trying to just force the matter. And I have ran into every single one of these issues that people talk about when it comes to former employees. Every single one of those issues, I've dealt with that in store. When I used to go into shop at GameStop, I had so many years. I really tried to like GameStop, guys. I really tried, because I've been shopping there since it was like the Funko Land and everything like that. I really tried to like them. I really tried. But every time I went into that store, it was, you need to pre-order, you need to pre-order, you need to pre-order. No, if I want to pre-order something, I'll do it on my own. I don't need you to tell me all this. Hey, you need to buy used. You need to buy used. Don't buy new. Why don't you buy used? Why don't you buy used? And then doing stuff like gutting games, right? So where you take a game, it's new, then they open it up, and then they put it on the shelf, and they try to sell that as new when the game is open, and they let their employees take it home to play. That is not a new game. That is a used game, and that is scummy. And I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me with GameStop, and it was Xenoblade Chronicles. When they took that game, which was already limited in print and it was a GameStop exclusive, they gutted the game and then they sold it brand new, which was absolutely horrible. Brand new copies that weren't sealed for $50. And then they continued to even take advantage of their own gutting in terms of things, and then charging even more at one point when there was no copies around. They were charging like 80 bucks used and stuff like that. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. And those are the type of things that to me was like, all right, final straw for the most part. It was that, and then it was also the issue that I had in terms of picking up my Wii U system when I pre-ordered there. They told me there was going to be a midnight release, and there was no midnight release, even though they told me at the store that I went to there was going to be a midnight release. When I asked them to transfer it to the other store that's having a midnight release, they said no. So these are the things that are just like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with GameStop, and I decided to start shopping somewhere else. And I think that if they can turn around the employee atmosphere, they need better employees that are actually passionate about their job, and they need people who actually want to work there. I'm sorry, but making minimum wage and busting your butt trying to sell pre-orders and doing all that stuff all day isn't fun. Paying them such little amounts to where you can go work in the restaurant business, or you can go work at In-N-Out and make more money than working at GameStop, yet that's pretty much a sales position to where they're always pushing you for sales, is ridiculous. And there's not even good incentives for hitting those. It's not even like you're going to make a ton of money. Like, let's say if you're working at like a cell phone place or something like that, if you're going to do that and have to push on people when it comes to certain things, then go work for a cell phone company, go work in sales, go work in something else to where you're going to make a lot more money at least. So they need to change the atmosphere when it comes to the employees first and foremost. If you don't have good employees that know what they're talking about and want to be there and are being paid a decent wage, it's going to transfer over to the customer. You're going to have issues. You're going to have people quitting. You're going to have a lot of turnover. And that's what I see with GameStop every single time. So what I'm hoping, instead of paying all of these people crazy amounts of money like the GameStop board of directors and like the GameStop executives have been being paid, they need to take some cuts, all right? Just like how Nintendo of Japan, back when the 3DS and back when the Wii U wasn't doing as well, they took cuts. Yeah, these executives, they need to take cuts, and that needs to be transferred over to find some employees that are going to do right by the customer, and they need to change their atmosphere. They need to change their thought process when it comes to the customer, when it comes to what they're doing there. I think the customer, in terms of making sure that it's a good experience in store, making sure that things are right, is the most important thing. So whatever ideas they bring to the table, it's got to start from within, right, with the employees, because unfortunately Reggie Fils-Aime isn't going to be selling all of these games to people. Reggie Fils-Aime isn't going to be walking in and shaking people's hands, especially with the CV going around when it comes to that. So Reggie Fils-Aime isn't going to be doing all of that. He's just got to have the ideas, but the employees have to be able to execute. And that's my biggest issue, was not only just some of the policies and stuff like that, but also just some of the employees and just their corporate structure, what their managers and their managers' managers were telling them to drive home. It got to the point to where shopping at GameStop was horrible. And even still to this day, my perception of GameStop is trash. Like, I don't go there for anything. I used to drive all the way to Best Buy. Even still at this point, I will go buy a game at Walmart. I will go buy a game at Best Buy. I will go buy a game at anywhere else but GameStop, unless it's the last option. And a GameStop is literally almost in walking distance for me. It's like 2 minutes in the car. And I'm still like, I'd rather go to Walmart, which is a little bit further in, and Walmart takes hella long to get games sometimes because Walmart's department is lazy as hell in terms of my Walmart when it comes to electronics. Nobody's ever there. They're always just doing other things. But I'd rather go deal with that and pick up a loaf of French bread and pick up some bananas and some apples and some vegetables and get my game than go into GameStop. Although I will say the last time that I went into GameStop to buy the new Switch, it smelled good in there and the floors looked nice. So it did look nice and it smelled good. But that's all I went in there for. I mean, that's all I went in there for. And the time before that was I went there to go get Dragon Quest 11 on the PlayStation 4 because Best Buy, for some reason, even though I pre-ordered the game, didn't have my copy in there. They just didn't have a lot of shipments, and GameStop had it, so I went there and bought the game. So for me, they really need to change that. They need to change the atmosphere of the employees and kind of what they do, the pushiness. I know they've kind of backed up in recent years. It's not been as bad, but all of that time that it was like that. And like I said, I have plenty of friends. Of course, a lot of you guys know there's YouTubers who've talked about this. Guys on the Spawncast have worked at GameStop before, and they all tell the same horror stories. They all tell the same things. So changing the customers' perception of GameStop is going to be very vital. It's going to be key, and they're going to have to put out some really good deals. They're going to have to do like a Best Buy Gamers Club type of thing to get me back there. They've got to do a Best Buy Gamers Club. They've got to do that. If they don't do that and they're still shilling out their credit cards and merch and stuff like that and iPads and trying to do that in order to get me in there, it's not going to happen. They've only got to do a Best Buy Gamers Club where you get like that 20% off new games. If they're not doing that, I'm not going in there. So I don't know what Reggie and these other big wigs are going to be able to do to turn things around, but I'll say this: it starts with the customer and it starts with the employees, and you got to make those interactions better. So good luck to Reggie and everybody else there, and I'm hoping that they can turn it around, because I want to be able to go into GameStop like I used to go back into Funko Land back in the day and buy games and be happy and all that. But unfortunately, years of abuse when it comes to everything, years of just hearing horror stories has just turned me completely away from them to where I'm buying my video games at a grocery store. So what are you guys' thoughts on this when it comes to Reggie joining GameStop? Do you think Reggie can save them? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a follow on there and stay up to date on all the latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share the video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.